Hello, Shello, and welcome back to another fabulous episode of Nellyville Reviews, Drag Race Season 18, Raider Queen, Part 1, the talent show. Baby, y'all know the talent show is one of my favorites. Let's just jump right into it, darling. If you don't want to watch a video, you can always catch this in audio form, audio only, wherever you get your podcasts, including right here on this YouTube channel, baby. So let's just start at the top of the episode. So this is after elimination, and already me, Olive, in the confessional talking about, it's certain things I'm gonna miss about Briar. But Kenya got you, girl. And look, Briar put on, if nothing else, Briar gave us great TV for those first few episodes. I think that is enough to get the show an Emmy this round. I really, really do. I don't know if the girl was faking with the fainting or not. I don't know if I don't know. But it was great TV, if nothing else. The girls talk about the fainting, and they're still divided on if it was real or not. Kenya in the confessional, she's shaken by being in the bottom last week, and she doesn't want anyone to think that that she's like rattled. She's trying to hide it, but girl, we know you're scared, but it doesn't seem like anybody's intimidated by her. Everybody, like, Kenya's trying to be like, yeah, this isn't gonna happen anymore, like, I'm good, like, I'm gonna be alright, but it's written all over her face that she's worried and nobody's buying it, nobody's intimidated, but things could change, so let's see. The girls give congratulations to Vita. It seems like Amia may be a little intimidated, according to her confessional. Seems like Mia might be a little intimidated by Vita. Which, Vita is a nice queen. And, whatever. Athena asked Discord how she feels about being in the bottom last week. Still, Discord is very, like last week, Discord is very gagged. She's very shocked that she was in the bottom. I don't know if she needed to be gagged or shocked, but I did disagree with the judges last week. I thought that Discord, I wouldn't necessarily say she would have been in the bottom. The way they did it is like, if there was a winning bestie and there was a losing bestie, there was no safe. So I think that was the only reason Discord would have been in the bottom, but I don't think she would have actually been in, like, I don't know. I don't know. Darlene says she thought she wore it best. She said that in her confessional and out of the confessional. Darlene was like, I don't know who was her partner last week. Athena, she's like, man, I don't know what she was doing, but I feel like I won. And a lot of people, the public agreed. They agreed. It is a new day in the workroom. The girls kiki about Discord wearing color in the workroom. She's very goth. She's very emo. She's very black. Wearing type of girl. She came in with this bright yellow hoodie or something rather. And Discord's like, look, it's a new day, it's a new week, I'm turning a new leaf. I'm like, okay, girl, you better wear your colorful hoodie. Hello. They joke about Briar saying squabble last week. So, during like the judging critiques or whatever last week, Briar said squabble when she meant to say squander. And we all knew what she was trying to say, but it was very funny. But now, look, Briar, I know you were an early out, but squabble seems to be your squabble up. Hey, squabble up. No, look, for real, seriously, you need to figure out how to make squabble squander merch. This seems to be a staple. I've been seeing it all around the socials and stuff. Briar, bank on this. This is your Drag Race moment for the merch, and do a thing, do a bit, come out with a song. This is it. Don't squander it. Squabble up. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so the Rules message pops up, and then Rule enters looking lovely, looking fab, cute, we love. Rule announces the Raider Queen Challenge Part 1. So this week some girls are going to be doing the talent show, which means a bunch of girls are going to do some music numbers and a couple girls are going to get brave and not do musical numbers. Look, let me just say, I don't know why we keep having these talent shows, calling them talent shows, when it's just a musical performance competition. I like when the girls think outside of the bun and do something that is not a musical number, dancing, pop, lock, and drop it. Pop, lock, and drop it. Hey, pop, lock, and drop it. Like, look, I love the musical numbers. I love the dancing. I love a girl that could do a kick count, a little 5, 6, 7, 8. I love it. It's cute. But if this is a talent show and everybody's doing the same talent, shouldn't we just call it what it is? A performance, an opportune original song, you know what I'm saying? Original song battle or something. Or encourage your girls, but switch it up and say, you can't do a musical number. You have to do something. What is your talent? Some girls, that is their talent. But some girls have gotten to the point where they feel like no one wants to see spoken word. No one wants to see juggling. No one wants to see anything but a high tempo performance number. And I don't know. We got to work on that format. We got to work on it because I like the niche. I like the outside of the bun. But anyways, more on that later. The ratings will determine the tops and the bottoms. So the group that's not performing is going to be judging the group of performers. You know what I'm saying? So y'all be doing shady stuff this week. Just remember those girls next week gotta vote for you. Just keep that in mind, ladies. Jane in the confessional expresses her concern about pre-drag race relationships that could affect the voting. And she's not wrong. People come in here, they already kumbaya, they friends, they family, they all this other kind of stuff. Yeah, that's gonna affect the voting. So to do the Raider Queen is very good, and to see the people scheming and scamming and stuff, yeah, it's good TV. But the Raider Queen, what's the point? And now, I like that they switched it up and in the middle of the season. Normally we do the talent show at the beginning of the season and people vote. And you don't really know each other. Unless a few people that kind of know it. But at this point, y'all have built relationships. Y'all know each other. Y'all have had time. It could still be a little calculated, a little shady in the beginning of the season, but when you do it in the middle, now it's really just about alliances of friends and who likes who and like, I don't know. Top 2 queens will lip sync for the win. The bottom queen will lip sync against the next week's bottom. The girls have to decide the order and week they will perform. So everybody got to sit down. I want to go here. I want to go this week. If she going next week, well, I want to go this week. And, oh, baby, because Vita won last week, she gets to pick her week. Now, Rue said she gets to pick her week. Now, I don't know if I missed the part where Rue said she could pick what spot she wanted to go in, or if that was deliberate and she only gets to pick her week. You don't get to pick what spot you go in. Just your week. But anyway, it's a little bit of an advantage there. Darlene, in her confessional, suspects this is all going to get very messy. And I agree. And it did. So the girls break up and they start talking strategy. Somebody's over here. This girl go over here. If I got you, you gonna vote for me. Okay, if we gonna vote for each other, then you go week 1, I go week 2. Make sure we can vote for each other. Okay, well then... I was like, y'all doing lying. Y'all ain't even seen nobody's talent. So y'all don't care about looking like Boo Boo the Fool. Y'all just like, y'all over here campaigning. Y'all campaigning. So Jane thinks there could be a target on her back, and Mikey isn't helping those thoughts. Jane, already feels bad. Oh, I'm doing so well. The girls are going to hate me. Now she's like, the girls are going to put me in the bottom just because I'm doing so good. I'm so sickening. And Mikey is like, oh, it might be kind of fun to kind of put you in the bottom just for fun. Mikey's really getting it in Jane's hands. I mean, it's a little kiki. It's a little hee ha ha, but still, And, at this point, I've said it before. I'll say it again. It's something about Jane I don't like. In the promo, I really liked her, but the more I see her in the show and everything, it's just something about her I don't like. Her drag is great. The makeup is beautiful. Most of her looks are really, really nice and stuff. But I just something about her. I don't like her. And if I could just take a side note for a second, I saw a video of her. She made like a TikTok or Instagram post or whatever, and she was talking about, oh, I have like some behind the scenes tea. You guys love behind the scenes tea, and she tells a story about the day after Briar got eliminated. It was Briar's birthday. And before Briar got eliminated, they all talked about, oh, if it's your birthday, we should tell the producers to like get a cake, like celebrate you, like you're here, you might as well celebrate your birthday. Like that would be fun for us and you and blah blah blah. Anyways, Briar got eliminated, so therefore no birthday party, no cake, right? So the girls were like, well, where's our cake? And the producers were like, well, Briar's not here. And the girls were like, well, we still talked about a cake. Anyway, so they got a cake, celebrated this girl's birthday. She's not even there, and they ate this cake and blah, blah, blah. But anyways, the point is she was making it seem like it was more tea than what it was. And then she was like, guys, and like, we talked about Briar. So like, we talked to this about Briar. She's okay with it. Like, we laughed about it. Like, it's not that bad. Like, how can I say this? It was like she was trying to tell this story to create a moment. Like, it's like she thought she was going to tell this story. These fans were going to hear it. And then it was going to be this big controversy. Like, it was going to be birthday cake gate. Where fans were going to be like, I can't believe they would eat a cake on her birthday. And she wasn't even there. And she fainted. And she was sick. And how dare they? There's some bullies. And trying to be like, guys, it's like not that serious. Like, don't be mad. We talked to her. Like, it's fine. Like, girl, stop trying to make fetch happen. Stop trying to create moments and create drama. Like, that was some Mean Girl stuff. Let me be clear. That was some Mean Girl stuff for y'all to do. Like, who gets a cake and eats on somebody's, like, whatever. Anyways, back to the episode at hand. Sierra says she's going to read a poem, and Vita in her confessional says she sees Sierra as a threat. I mean, Sierra's very talented, and Vita recognizes real. Now, while Vita sees Sierra as a threat, Jane's over here talking about, I just don't see Sierra as that type of girl to pull off a poem thing like that. Like, I don't see it. Like, why not? Why don't you see it? Anyways, Nene is recreating a viral moment of hers, and Athena knows about it and is excited to see it in person. Look, if you have a number out in the real world and it had a lot of payoff, it was viral, why not do it on the main stage of RuPaul's Drag Race? Like, people who have already seen them might appreciate it and be like, oh my gosh, I know the inside lore. But some people might feel like, baby, you did that, you done this recycled material, who cares, we can't be bothered. I can see people seeing it one way or another. And then Jane is hating on Nene, saying, girl, you already did, like, in her, I think Jane was in the confessional, like, you gonna do something you already did before? Why are you a hater? Worry about you. Worry about you, Jane. God damn, you hating. Anyways, Vita's thinking she wants to go week 1 to just rip the Band-Aid off. And honestly, I would do the same. My teacher has taught me a long time ago, just be first, try to go as early as possible, get it out of the way, because for one, everyone else is so nervous about, and they're thinking about their numbers, they're not really paying attention to you. The judges are fresh, so they're not comparing you to anyone else. The teacher is fresh, and they're not comparing you to anyone else who went. And the teacher's trying to get coordinated, trying to, work it out the kinks. It's good to go first and get it out of the way. And then the rest of the thing, you can just relax and enjoy the show, enjoy the rest of the presentations. So baby, I think that is a great way to think about it. Kenya is aiming to do everything. Spoken word, bucking, flags. Okay, baby, you better pull out everything in the kitchen sink. Kenya, Athena, and Mia plot to swap votes along with Juicy to do an even switch. I think it's going to backfire. So you have these 4 people together, 2 gonna go this week, 2 go the next week, and then we vote for each other, make sure we get a high ranking. I don't know, something about that. I think something's gonna go wrong. And then Kenya calls Juicy over in front of everyone. was the first mistake. These girls are over here plotting and scheming, and they not even being sneaky. Y'all don't know how to be sneaky. Y'all are not conniving. Y'all are not on the low. Y'all like, come over here, so and so, over here. Like what? Like, so we don't care that everybody knows that we're making all these connections and plotting. Like, what are we doing here? Sierra comes over to borrow Kenya and Mia to suggest a glam alliance between Sierra, Mikey, Kenya, and Mia. They are the only girl group with all of their members. So that's why, Sierra's like, hey, we could do a glam alliance. What do you think? Well, remember Kenya and Mia are already in an alliance, so how does this all shake out? Mia was very upfront. Mia was like, "Cool, I'm down, but I'm a do I'm a prioritize Athena, and then I'll do what I got to do for glam." And Sierra was like, "Okay, cool, that's cool." Like, and that makes sense, but at least Mia was on it. Mia could have been like, "Yeah, girl, I'm all the way down," knowing full well you just told Athena that y'all are doing the family thing. Y'all doing the Miami girls thing. So at least she was like, look, I'm down. Look, I'm gonna do what I can for you, but just know Athena's gonna get priority over whatever glam situation we got. And Sierra did push back. She was like, all right, girl, look, I understand. Got it. Boom. Say less. Kenya was stressing about all of this, but she agreed, which I understand because you're kind of making double alliances. But then you're like, are these people really got my bag? I made an alliance with these Miami girls. Like, of course, Mia, Athena, and Juicy gonna have each other, and like I'm in the mix, but I don't really have no connection to these girls, and then these glam people. I'm like, oh, King was stressing. Nene and Mikey get called over by Sierra, Mia, and Kenya, and they get on board. Okay, work. Darlene is talking with Jane and says she's more concerned about who's going to be watching and if they'll get her POV. Jane says they'll make sure that she's fine. So Jane's like, we gonna take care of you. And I guess so Jane and Darlene kind of got a little thing going on. But yeah, I would be concerned, like, who's watching? Who's judging? And then if you are going to step outside of the bond, are people going to get it? Because like I said, most people expect these high tempo dance numbers. And if you do anything other than that, you might put yourself on the chopping block. Unless you just really, really hit it out of the park. It's a big risk. Nene comes over to talk to Jane alone. And so Darlene excuses herself. I'm like, dang, whatever. Athena and Juicy talk. And Athena is like, of course I'm putting my daughter in top. Your granddaughter. Athena, I don't know why you keep calling this girl your daughter. That's your grandbaby. I keep telling girl, that's your grandbaby. Just say it's your grandbaby. Just say, grandbaby, yeah, of course grandma's gonna put you in the top. Of course she gonna be my number one. Which is fair, that's understandable. That's how it should be. Which I just, it's such a flip from the beginning. I'm sorry. I will never let it go. I'm going to keep reminding the people. We do remember that Athena was second guessing if she wanted to help Juicy and didn't help her and let her flop that first time. We remember that, right? Okay. So now it's time for placements. People to strategize. Now everybody come, let's sit down. Let's figure out who's going to win and in what order. Mikey noticed that all the dancers were going week 1, and she was like, on second thought, I think I'm going to go week 2. Smart girl. Nene is torn, and then Kenya snaps at her. And I'm like, Kenya, calm down, which I understand. Like, it's high stress. We already have these strategies. We talked about this. And Nene just keeps going like, well, I'll go week 1. No, I think I'll go week 2. No, actually, Nene is like, look, I'm trying to go that's going to put me in the best position in front of the judges. But also I'm thinking about who's going to be ranking me. It's, and then Kenya was like, girl, and I was like, okay, Kenya, you didn't have to snap on that girl like that. And Nene was looking all scared. I was like, damn, like, Kenya, calm down. Like, I know it's stressful, but relax. Don't yell at that little girl like that. Cut to Kenya in the confessional saying she didn't mean to yell, but Nene is messing up the voting. So for week 1, we have Nene, Vita, Juicy, Mia, Sierra, and Darlene. So that means week 2, Discord, Jane, Kenya, Mikey, and Athena are gonna go. So cut to the girls are getting ready. They talk about how they feel about the talent show being much later in the season. Mikey asks, is anyone doing anything super different from what we've seen? Sierra talks about how deep and raw her number is. Then Mikey jokes about how Megami went for the same thing. And, well, we know how that worked out. Megami, she tried to do a little deep. It didn't hit. Her heart was in the right place, but it didn't hit. Jane expresses in her confessional that she doesn't, I remember I said she doesn't think Sierra can pull it off. Athena and Darlene talk strategy. I guess they are really close. Athena sit up here and claim swear up and down she's so close with Darlene. Maybe they are at this point, but last week I'm not buying it. I think whatever. Athena tells Darlene she's hoping that Darlene, Mia, and Juicy being in the same group will help her placement. Athena's like, look, I know Mia's got me, Juicy. Do you have, I'm hoping, what, you know what I'm saying? She's trying to plant seeds. And so, I don't know. I guess Darlene's probably, I don't remember if Darlene was like, yeah, girl, I got you. I don't remember. She probably was a very sweet girl. All in all, I think everyone is a little nervous about this challenge. So bring it to the runway. The runway, runway. Wow, Rue out here looking good. Michelle, we have Ross Matthews, Zara Larson for our extra special judge. And the category for the runway is Not Today Satin. First up, we have Sierra. I wasn't crazy about it. It's a perfectly safe look. Nothing to write home about. Then we have Juicy. Once again, this is a perfectly safe look to me. I feel like we've seen her do this silhouette before. Maybe she has a little more volume here, but I've definitely seen her in this silhouette a few times, at least just last week. It was the same silhouette. Just take away this volume here. It was the same thing. I mean, she looks pretty, but it's safe for me. Then we have a Nene wearing a garment that it apparently is the first one she's ever worn that was not made by herself. This is the first garment she's ever worn that's been made by someone else. And I must say, I really like it. It's very creative. I love the whimsicalness of it. I like the way that she worked it. I like it with that shoe. Of course, the makeup is stamped. I really liked it. So whoever she found to do it, they knew who you were. They understood. And this looks like something that she could have made. Then we have Vita. I'll give it a safe, barely. I was not crazy about it. I didn't, even if she would have changed the wig, I think I would have liked it a little more. But I'm sorry, Vita, it didn't do it for him. Which, satin is such a hard thing. A lot of these, they could have been a lot better if it was just a different fabric. Satin is just it's just hard. Now, Darlene, you my girl. Now, we did find out that this was not the original wig that she was going to wear. I saw a video where she talked about it. She said that Athena saw the original wig that she was going to wear, and we saw it on her TikTok, Instagram, or whatever. And Athena was like, no, girl, you can't wear that. Here, borrow one of mine. Now, this is a nice wig. Do I think it goes with this look? I don't know. When I saw the original wig that she was going to wear, I was like, oh, okay. I think it would have made more sense because it did give like this 80s hair where this looks very 80s prom dress. I think it would have tied in better. It was more camp. This is a very pageant like updo. And so it seemed like the outfit was supposed to be taken more seriously than what was actually intended. Does that make sense? Seems like the whole outfit was supposed to be camp, and then you got the serious wig. So then it gives off, oh, so you really think that you're giving like glamour and pageant. And then you had the nerve to not have a titty. I'm just like, okay, what are we doing here? Not my favorite, but love you so much. And then she revealed, like, love you so much. Mia, girl, that was potential here, but you lost me at this little bitty wig. You have this big giant bow. You have these big man shoulders, and you wore this little flat wig. I'm not understanding who is in your camp that you need to wear big hair, girl. You gotta wear some big hair. This had potential, but I'm so sorry you lost me. And then this little throwaway necklace to hide the titty bib, girl. Now, Mikey, this is really nice. This is somebody who made the satin do what needed to be done. It's a little hard on the attachment to the black and the blue. Something about that seam might have been able to work out a little bit better, but I think it's just because it's just really satin. It's just really, really hard. But that like nitpick detail aside, I like this architectural movement that she has going on. Whatever she used for that structure, it's very nice because it held up. I hate to see the girls walk around down the runway and they're like holding up their outfits and stuff, and they're trying to, this just kind of floated just effortlessly, like this little spit curl in front. The makeup is beautiful. The look looks very put together, very polished. One of my favorites of the night. Athena, normally I get on her and I'd be like, Athena, girl, da, 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 da. I think I like some of her looks, but I think most of the time I'm like, I don't like that or whatever. I had to disagree with the judges. I liked this a lot more than they did. I don't think they hated it, and then maybe it was the pit stop or something. I don't know. I saw some people saying that the hat wrap thing should have been bigger or whatever. But you know what? I didn't mind the size that it was. Would I have liked it with it being bigger? Sure. But this did not bother me. I think the color looks great on her. I like the little, what's the lady, the little banana chiquita banana, type of head wrap thing. I love a head wrap. Obviously, I love a head wrap. I think she looks really cute, looks really good. I'm not mad. Next up, we have Kenya, and apparently this was not what she was supposed to be wearing. Apparently, the designer she hired couldn't get her the look in time. But luckily, Jane had some oversized coat, just extra, that I guess she wasn't going to wear or whatever. And Kenya took it, put a belt on it, reworked it, made it into a dress. I think that in the best case scenario, I think that it worked out fine. Is it my most favorite look on the runway? No, but I think considering you had no look, you borrowed something from someone and you were able to make this in whatever little time that you had, it's a perfectly fine look. I'll give her a safe, maybe a low safe, but it's safe nonetheless. Her wig was a little too tight, and you could really see it in Untucked. Like, it was just like digging into her skin. And I'm like, I know you're trying to secure the wig and all, or maybe it was just, I don't know. But obviously I love a big fro. I love, the elements were there. It just needed to be a little more polished, but considering you had to make it do what it do, I think she turned it out really, really well. Next up, we have Jane. Now, I can appreciate the color scheme and things that she has, but, someone said it looks like this big bird that's on her shoulder versus the dress. Looks like two different looks that she put together. And I can see how someone got there. I think it's safe. I wasn't like, ooh, ah. But it was fun to look at. It was fun to look at, and I see where she was trying to go. It just needed a little bit more editing. And the first thing I would have edited is the color of those tights. I think that even just changing the tight or the shoe, I don't like the Barbie toe. I don't like when we have the tights with an open toe shoe. I don't like the Barbie toe. I think even that would have, gave it a few extra points. And last but not least, we have Discord. Now, I like the imagination of this. I like the whimsy. I like that she incorporated these, old newspapers and things. It's a very Discord. If nothing else, Discord has a very strong point of view, and you can't argue that. Like this is very her. I didn't have any like huge issues with it. Was I over the moon? No, but most of these looks I really wasn't over the moon for like really anyone. But I did like this one. I didn't mind it, and I don't think I had any major issues with it. I like the color scheme. I like the hair. Checked out the boxes. There was a point of view. Okay, Discord, you go ahead, girl. Now it's time for the talent show. And first up we have Sierra. And let me just say, I loved it. I was like, wow, this was beautiful. This was great. I was on Lonely Island. I mean, there was a lot of people that really loved it, but the judges didn't love it like how I did. There was a lot of like just discourse online and stuff. Like, I liked it. I think people are just so used to this. Because even in the critique, Ross Matthews was like, it was good, but I was just so in the mood for and ready for such a high energy, high kick performance. That's what I'm saying. Y'all sit up here, it is a talent show. It's not a dance competition. And if that's what you want to see, and if that's what you're expecting, just call it that. But I think what Sierra did was really, really lovely. She stepped outside of the bun. I liked the poem. It was, the message behind it was very beautiful. We would later learn in Untucked that it was kind of inspired by a friend who took their lives. They lost their battle to depression. I thought it was really beautiful. I like the outfits. I like the garment. I thought it was a really great number. I'm sorry. I just did. Next up, we have Juicy. Look, I said that it was cute. People went crazy for it because, look, I'm not saying that what Juicy was doing was not impressive. It takes a lot of talent. It takes a lot of athleticism. It takes a lot. What Juicy does and how Juicy can move is beautiful. It is phenomenal. But it didn't, okay, how can I say this? Like, LaLa Ri. Okay, LaLa Ri, former Drag Race girl. Still out here performing. When you watch LaLa Ri dance, or when you watch somebody like Aja dance, or Kennedy Davenport, what you're gonna see, you feel it. It's not just like, wow, they can do a lot of flips. They're very flexible. Yeah, the skill is there, but they make you feel something and it flows. It's not like, oh, let me just throw every move that I can possibly do and just throw it in there. I don't know. The routine, it was very nice, but I didn't feel it like when I watched LaLa Ri do something. Like, I feel every move from LaLa Ri. Like, if there's a flow there. But more about flow later. Next up, we have NeNe. Yes, 10s across the boards. It was whimsical. She looked beautiful. The storytelling, to be able to tell that type of story about the little praying mantis and how they they procreate and then they eat the head of the father. Like, it was so funny. It was so cute. It was a perfect story. She did all the acrobatics and the dancing, but there was a story that it was layered, it was deep, and there was something more to it. It was funny. It checked off all the boxes for me. Vita, girl, what the hell was that? I wrote, what in the elementary dance routine was that? And in tennis shoes. Now, Rude is and most of the judges, most of the girls and stuff, this is a big no-no to wear flat. You gotta wear a heel. They don't like when you wear a sneaker or a flat or are barefoot. Now, for me, when it makes sense for the look or the talent or whatever, I can excuse that sometimes. But at least if you're gonna wear a tennis shoe, put some jewels on it. Write a funny message on it. Wear some fun tennis shoes. Don't wear no whatever the fuck. What was that? You couldn't get a pair of Jordans. You couldn't even get a pair of Reeboks. What were those shoes? That was it wasn't even that it was a tennis shoe. It was just those shoes was ugly. And then she did this number. It was very basic. Somebody pointed out, it looked like she didn't even know her words. She kept turning her back and stuff to the camera. It was she stayed in one spot. She did not use the stage. I was like, girl, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed, disgusting. You wasting my time. I'm sorry, Vita. Do better. I'm so sorry. Next up, we have Darlene. Loved it. Nailed it. It was very funny. Nailed it. No pun intended. So she did this cute little number about, it was like, and it was inspired by, she does a lot of handiwork and craftsmanship projects and stuff around the house with her husband. And, to incorporate that into a routine, it was handy. It was super camp. It was very happy. It was upbeat. It was a very, very fun number. I know exactly who Darlene is as a drag queen, and I ate it up. Mia. Okay, here's another one. Has the skills. We know she can back it up. She done toured all over the world with some of the biggest pop stars that we know of our generation. But it was just something that it did not have a connection. Was it just objectively a good performance? Sure. It was high energy. That wig that she came out with at first was already too flat. Then she revealed to this little pixie cut thing, and I was like, girl, you got these big ass man shoulders. You can't come out here with a pixie. And please, can Sophia Crystal call her? Because Sophia Crystal had the same problem. Girls, we got to get the titty boobs that match with the proportions of your body. Like, yeah, your titty boobs are big, but they just all right here and they out. You gotta go wide. You gotta get boobs that go out this way. Cause you pad your hips real nice. You get these big burly man ass shoulders. You can't just have big boobs right here sitting up like them Tata like, hey, I'm Tate McCrae and I have little Tata. No, you gotta proportionize. Say what you want about say what you want about Eureka O'Hara. The girl knows how to proportionize. So please get some pointers. It was cute. It was her energy. It was just, and the judges ate it up. I'm sorry. I was so opposite. I've been so opposite on the judges so often this season. I don't know. Maybe it's me. I just couldn't connect. I'm sorry. So that was it for the performance. Now it's time for the girls to go and rate a queen. So they didn't get any critiques from the judges. Now we saw the judges talk and give their opinions on the girls and the things. But the girls who watched, they didn't get no feedback from the judges. They didn't want to sway them or nothing. They went and judged the girls and ranked the girls. So we get to see the judges, like I said, we get to see the judges talk about the rankings and the things. And then RuPaul asks each judge to give their top and their bottom. Ross's tops are Juicy and Mia. Ross's bottoms are Vita and Sierra. Zara's tops are Juicy and Mia. But her bottoms are Sierra and Vita. Michelle's tops are Mia, Juicy, and Nene. And her bottoms are Darlene and Vita. So now it's time for the lip sync for the win. And the two that lip sync are going to be Mia and Juicy. So we get the TT and Niece duo SmackDown for the win. Song is Pretty Ugly by Zara Larsson, so you gotta perform her song right in front of her. It was a good lip sync. It was fun. It was high energy. I didn't lose my mind like everybody. Like this was a huge moment for everyone. But I'm sorry, people were losing their mind like this was Alyssa Edwards and Tatiana to Shut Up and Drive. I'm so sorry. It was not that. This was a good lip sync. They danced together. They even came out with a little music video. Go check it out. It's cute. But I don't know. But I will say that I did pick Juicy because remember I talked about flow. Juicy felt like she was feeling the song a little more. It was flow. Mia just wasn't like connecting. She was like doing a lot of movement. The energy was there, but there was no soul. Juicy had more soul. It was a flow. She was more fluid with her movements. I picked Juicy to win. Come to find out, it was a tie. So Mia and Juicy tied for the win, and they get $2,500 each. So they gotta split their little $5,000. Okay, whatever, Tie, auntie and niece, TT and niece, whatever you want to call it. Okay, great, love that. Oh, it's raining, y'all. Oh, y'all hear that? The bottom for this week was Sierra, and she will lip sync against next week's bottom. I felt bad for Sierra because I thought that it was really good. I enjoyed it, and it was so vulnerable, so sad. Look, I appreciate that she took a big swing and didn't just do some, predictable high tempo original song with some little 5, 6, 7, 8 dance numbers. So I appreciate it. Sierra, it's gonna be okay, girl. Now it's time for Untucked, darling. So Juicy, we found out that Juicy's routine was inspired by one of her TTs telling her that it looked like someone was using a video game controller when she would perform. And she does really like to play video games. So she performed as if she was a character being controlled by like a video game controller or whatever. So I'm like, okay, yeah, I saw that read. Darlene's talent came from being crafty and handy with her husband. We talked about that. Athena asked Sierra how it was opening the show. And Sierra reveals, that's when she reveals that she lost a drag sister. And, and I like that she opened the show. I liked it. I think she was felt good about opening the show, but it was emotional because she's reliving that. Y'all know the things. Mikey, girl, I love you, but you're explaining too much. What was she explaining? Because I wrote down she was explaining too much. Oh, she was trying to talk about, God, what was she talking about? I don't even remember. I think she was explaining something about, oh, I know what it was. She was trying to explain like how everyone should go, suggesting how everyone should go about ranking and judging, and this is how we did it in performance, and talking about PIPE, which stands for PIPE, or steps. It was some kind of acronym and stuff for something, I don't know. But I was like, Mikey, girl, I don't know if you had one too many cocktails, or I don't know what was going on, but I'm like, Mikey, I love you, but girl, sit down. Discord is ride or die for Vita. I don't know what that friendship relationship is there, but what I'm getting in Discord is ride or die for Vita. Let me tell you something. So Nene, while talking with Sierra, Nene is like, if I feel like the voting is shady this week, I can just turn around and be shady next week. Which I don't blame her. Yeah. So while y'all sitting over here doing all this calculating stuff this week, just remember, you know what I'm saying? These same people, they got to turn around and vote for you. So, keep that in mind, y'all. And it was funny, Juicy, when they were leaving the workroom to go back to the stage, Juicy walks out of the workroom on a handstand. I thought that was so funny. Just so effortless, just so young, just so flexible. That was funny. I mean, it was just like so natural. Just walking out on the handstand. It was cute. I was like, girl, you better walk out on the handstand. And then I did notice, like, after the lip sync and after they found out who was in the bottom, and then Jane turns around, Juicy and Mia were all excited, like, and Jane's walking in front, and Jane turned around like, Like, the way she turned and looked at, I don't know if it's just how it read on camera, she was really over them or whatever, but I can understand, like, okay, y'all doing a lot, y'all being loud. And then Jane went over and hugged Sierra. But I don't know if it was because they were like, she was, look, honest, of course, be excited, be glad that you won and everything, but maybe Jane turned and looked back at them because they were doing all of that in front of Sierra, knowing, like, what her performance was inspired by and everything. It's like, come on, be a little sensitive too. Not that you got to dim your light or anything, but y'all know what I'm saying. Or maybe Jane was just bitter that she wasn't top. I don't know, but the way she turned around and looked gave them the stankiest of faces. It was just, I did peep that. And then I just wanted to hug Sierra. I think Athena came over and gave Sierra a really big hug. Jane gave Sierra that was a really nice emotion, which the type of hug that Jane gave Sierra, that's what made me think she turned and looked back at Mia and Juicy like that for her, because it's like, this girl, she's going through it. And she was the only one who got on stage and really did something vulnerable. And gosh, I just wanted to hug Sierra, but let's see who's gonna end up in the bottom next week, girl. Baby, you got a week to practice your lip syncings and come up with pull out all the tricks and stops, because whoever's in the bottom next week, they're gonna be caught off guard. At least you have the advantage of a week to plot and plan and scheme and figure out, how can I lip sync for my life? So may the best queen win. You know what I'm saying? But I could also see it being a double save. I could see somewhere Brew don't send nobody home. What y'all think? Let me know. Anyways, with all that being said, that is it for this episode of Nellyville Review Season 18. Rated Queen Talent Show Part 1. Let me know what you think about all that drama, all that tea. Did your favorites win? How you feel about Sierra being in the bottom? You think she's going to turn it next week no matter who she's against? Let me know about all of that tea. And anyways, I will catch you in the next episode. Bye!